Alright guys, this is a bonus video, kind of a follow-up to the video, will Windows 10 install on a 1998 computer? I barely managed to find this comment. 2 months ago, Tech and More wrote that you can actually install Windows 8 Developer Preview on this old computer, since this version of Windows 8 doesn't require SSE2 instruction support. Just yesterday, I tried to do all of this, and you'll see the results in this video. I didn't spend a lot of time on it since the video was going to be short, so I just took photos. Basically, that'll be enough. Naturally, the first thing I did was try to launch the Windows 8 Developer Preview installer from within Windows 7. Don't think this is some other computer. I just hooked up a different monitor from around the same time period. I think it's from 2003. A friend gave it to me. Basically, the screen doesn't flicker on this one, so it'll be more pleasant for you to watch the video. When you start the installation, it tells you that you need at least 0.3 gigabytes of RAM. We've only got 256 megabytes in there, and a processor with at least 1 gigahertz speed, but we've got a Pentium II at 400 megahertz. With Vista and Windows 7, it was a lot easier. You could bypass the system requirements check. But with Windows 8, unfortunately, nobody on the internet has really bothered with that. In simple terms, there are no instructions out there. I have no idea what to change or what to do. So what did I end up going? I read that the only way to get around this limitation is to install Windows 8 Developer Preview on a computer that supports it, and after Windows copies all the files, make a disk image using Acronis. Then write that image to the old hard drive that's installed in the 1998 computer. Then, when you turn it on, the Windows installation should just start up. But how do you actually do that? After all, I don't have a second IDE drive. Mostly, I just have SATA drives. The BIOS on the old computer doesn't support booting from USB drives or from a USB DVD-ROM. It only supports booting from disks and only CDs, because the drive in there is just a regular CD drive. It doesn't support DVDs. At first, I tried to start the installation on my new computer. Naturally, that didn't work for me. It gave me an ACPI incompatibility error with the motherboard. By the way, it was exactly the same error as in the last video about installing Windows XP on a new PC. Then I borrowed a 2008 laptop from my friend, but even on the laptop, I got a blue screen of death. Luckily, thanks to my knowledge, I figured out the problem really quickly. All I had to do was switch the AHCI mode to IDE in the BIOS, and then the installation started up without any problems. I made a copy, and now the only problem is how to write all of this onto an IDE drive. At first, I thought, well, I need to make some kind of live CD, boot from the disk, and convert everything there. I bought a CDRW and 2 CDR blanks, and it turned out that this drive just wouldn't read CDR or RW disks at all. In the end, I copied the file onto a flash drive and installed Acronis from Windows 7 on the old PC. Fortunately, the Acronis program had a feature that allowed you to boot the program separately without an operating system. So in Windows 7, our USB ports are recognized and working. I launched the Acronis program and select the image that I cloned. The computer restarts. The Acronis bootloader formats the 40 gigabyte IDE hard drive and writes the installation files from my cloned image onto it. I honestly thought it was impossible until the very end, but it actually worked. You can see the result on your screens right now. So if you ever use this utility, just know that it's absolutely top-notch. First, we get the Windows recovery mode. That's because I turned off the computer with the power button. If we try to install again, as you can see, the Windows Developer Preview message appears. And then suddenly it all crashes to a black screen of death. The error code here indicates a complete incompatibility between the device and the operating system, as well as missing drivers. Another important fact I discovered during the installation process is that Windows 8, even if it does install, simply can't run with just 256 megabytes of RAM. The question everyone wants answered. So what about Windows 10? I tried to install it and specifically downloaded the very first version of Windows 10. This is the technical preview. I tried to launch it from within Windows 7, but as you can see on the screen, it immediately showed us 4 incompatibility issues. These are the SSE2 instructions. Next, the processor doesn't support NX, there's a 1 gigabyte RAM limit, and your CPU speed is less than 1 gigahertz. And we've got a Pentium II of 400 megahertz. Even if we imagine that we managed to bypass the 1 gigahertz and 1 gigabyte RAM limitations, there's no way we can get around the SSE2 and NX requirements. Simply put, installation will be impossible. Everything will always crash straight to the blue screen of death. Thank you for your comments under that video. You shared a lot of useful information. I just quickly checked all of this and I think this question is settled. I also want to let you know that I'll be releasing a video where I compare the beta versions of Windows XP, 7, 8, and 10 with the regular versions you're using now. I happen to have 3 computers ready to install them on. This one's the most ancient, from 1998, so there definitely won't be any problems with XPON on it. Then I have a mid-range computer from 2008 where Windows 7 and 8 will install without any issues. And finally, there's a modern PC that I use for editing where Windows 10 should definitely install. That's all for now. If you found this interesting, be sure to give it a like. Let me know what you think in the comments. Either way, make sure to subscribe to the channel. All the best. Bye.